Welcome to EcoAfrica. Today we show you how they cool milk in Kenya. I'm Sharon Omanyi in Nairobi, and joining me, of course, is my charming colleague from Nigeria, Neota.
Thank you, Sharon, and a warm welcome from Lagos, Nigeria to all of you, our viewers out there. We have an exciting selection of reports about nature and the environment today, taking us, as usual, to both Africa and Europe. Now, here's what we have lined up today. Making fertilizer environmentally friendly, a company in Côte d'Ivoire has come up with a green solution. Cool technology, how farmers in Kenya use solar power to keep their milk fresh for the market. And plastic-free living. We'll look at European supermarkets trying to do away with plastic packaging. In Côte d'Ivoire, that's Ivory Coast, more than half the population makes a living from agriculture. The country is the world's largest exporter of cocoa beans and also grows coffee and fruits. Most farmers use chemical fertilizers on their fields because it's quick and it's easy. But one company is leading the way in making organic fertilizer, and it's proving to be a big success. We went to find out why. Take a look.
Making fertilizer from organic waste. It's an idea that Sylvain Kwaku had 3 years ago. He's convinced dozens of companies to give him their food waste so that he can make fertilizer out of it. He founded the company Green Countries in Abidjan. Our product's final mixture was developed through 10 months of constant experimentation in 2016. We tried lots of ingredients, and every time a product was ready, we analyzed it in the laboratory to develop the best mixture to provide the richest possible product. At the company site, food waste is separated onto different piles according to a specific sequence. These are the various layers of waste we have. You can see here that the coffee is directly under the pineapple. The coffee is put in first. But before the pineapple gets there, there are other food leftovers and a thin layer of kitchen paper that's also biodegradable. This layering method encourages the growth of certain bacteria that accelerate the fermentation process. After 8 weeks, the fertilizer is ready. In 2017, Green Countries sold some 350 tons of its organic fertilizer. And there's plenty of demand. The market is huge. Agricultural products make up the largest market sector in the Ivory Coast. The country uses half of all the fertilizer produced in the region, and it's almost always chemical fertilizer. In order to bring about a turnaround, Green Countries has contacted large processing companies such as juice manufacturer Atu with a simple proposition. We take the waste from you and you buy our organic fertilizer and use it on your own plantations. If you take a kilo of pineapple and press it, you use 45% and throw away 55%. The Green Countries brought us the solution on how to make more out of our waste. That's our contribution to fighting climate change. A practice run in Bonua, 60 kilometers from Abidjan. Christophe Sidigo has to regularly fertilize his 5-hectare pineapple plantation. The soil is exhausted after 20 years of monoculture farming. We used to be able to produce 40 to 50 tons per hectare. These days we can only produce about 30 tons per hectare. Up to now, Christophe Sidigo had used chemical fertilizers to harvest his 50 tons of pineapple. Like almost everyone around here, he only switched this year. Above all, he's convinced that the organic fertilizer will not harm his health or that of his crop. The plantation owner likes how the new fertilizer is produced and what it's made of. It is made with pineapple waste. In the future, we may be able to recycle even more of it, and that could bring us even more advantages. If he wants more farmers to switch, then Sylvain Kwaku's organic fertilizers will have to come down in price. At the moment, the harsh reality is that conventional fertilizers are still considerably cheaper than those made from agricultural waste.
Now let's head to Rwanda, a small country in East Africa that's already harnessing renewable energy in a big way. As well as the power of the sun, there are also valuable resources to tap everywhere. Let's look at an example. Lake Kivu in Rwanda. Here, an energy firm is already extracting naturally occurring methane gas from its waters. This potentially lethal gas is now being used in a positive way in the area.
Lake Kivu in northwestern Rwanda. The local population lives from fishing, but fish stocks are dwindling and livelihoods are threatened. These days, children use the fishing boats as playgrounds. The trouble is that the lake contains dangerously high levels of methane, which is deadly for most fish species. The lake is becoming toxic. According to scientists, if the gas isn't extracted, there could be a major eruption here in about 100 years. An extraction plant has been in operation since early 2016. An offshore barge siphons the methane gas to the surface, and then the gas is used to supply electricity to the national grid. The technology has never before been used to extract methane from a lake. The construction of the plant took several years. U.S. company Contour Global financed the project with funds from the African Development Bank. The international team includes Rwandans.
All this engineering, the people, the resources, the materials had to be brought from all around the world to bring here in the middle of Africa, in the Lake Kivu, right? So this was the first biggest challenge. And all the thinking, since it's a unique project, it has not been done anywhere. We don't have any benchmark, we don't have any reference. We had to develop everything ourselves. So all this thinking took time. All these trials, failures, again and again throughout these years, and now we are succeeding.
The gas is extracted from depths of up to 365 meters at a rate of 20,000 cubic meters per hour. Every step is closely monitored in the control room.
Okay.
Concentrated methane can cause toxic explosions.
It's untreated gas. The gas is brought above deck, and above the deck we treat the gas, we clean the gas, we wash the gas to remove all the impurities, all the other gases what we don't want, and we take only the methane. And the rest of the gas and the water, we bring it to a specific level where we still ensure proper lake stability.
The Karongi region is home to more than 300,000 people. They're also benefiting from this energy project. It feeds 26 kilowatts of electricity into the national grid, and that's enough to supply 26,000 households in Europe. Here in Rwanda, more than half the population lives without electricity. Even so, many locals have reservations about the project, especially fishermen and people who live along the lake. The water has changed color, and that could disrupt everything. We think it's the power plant.
Sometimes you see so many machines in the Lake Kivu, sometimes they can kill the fish. Not only that, so many activities which is being done in the Lake Kivu can also be barriers of increasing of fishing in Lake Kivu.
The project has, however, brought money to the region. New roads have been built. Hotels have electricity 24 hours a day. People who work for the power plant are arriving in droves as scientists keen to take a look at the new pilot project. For local hotels, they represent a business opportunity. As far as tourism is concerned, we assume that the power plant will be a boom. We're seeing a lot more visitors. For example, the staff of the facility. They bring foreign currency into the country, and the hospitality business will benefit. The power plant operators will be sending more staff to Lake Kivu in future. Plans are on the way to expand the facility so that its capacity will have quadrupled by 2019. And locals are hoping that in the long run, the reduction in methane will also help replenish fish stocks.
Sharon, did you know that if we continue to pollute the oceans at the current levels, by 2050 there might be more plastics in them than fish?
Yes, NT, and it's not just fish that are under threat. Other wildlife like seabirds are also at risk from plastic pollution. The Pali for the Oceans initiative is doing its bit to raise awareness by showing how albatrosses are suffering due to the plastic waste in our oceans.
The remote Pacific island of Midway is home to the majestic Laysan albatross. U.S. artist Chris Jordan and his team filmed these beautiful birds, showing how they mate and care for their chicks. Then the team made a shocking discovery. Thousands of young albatrosses die miserably, their stomachs filled with plastic. The film was financed by the Parley for the Oceans initiative and is available on the internet as a free public artwork. The filmmakers asked people to host screenings of it to reach as wide an audience as possible. Artist Chris Jordan believes, when millions of people decide something must be done against plastic, that is when real change happens.
Do you like that? If you are also doing your bit, tell us about it. Visit our website or send us a tweet. #DoingYourBit. We share your stories.